In The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio, who played the role of Jordan Belfort, made more famous the technique "sell me this pen." There's a scene whereby he asks his colleague to sell a pen. Now, the idea and the premise behind this selling is to generate a need or generate an interest, but more so a need. Now, if that's the type of selling that you're doing, then what we'll say is stop listening to this because I don't want to train you. I'm not interested in training you. But if you are really interested in actually generating good relationships with your customers, with your clients, to build a profitable and ethical business, then keep listening. Here's a little technique I'm going to invite you to do, just to check it out for yourself. So, what I'd ask you to do during the day when it's not so important to you, I'd ask you to get a colleague or a friend or somebody and try and get them to do something. So the idea being, say, perhaps get them to do something that calls for their time or their resource or their skill that's not so easy for them. It's not so readily available to them. So basically, really that you'll have to persuade or influence or sell to them. And once you've done that, so it could be as simple as ask them to go on an errand for you, or ask them to do a report for you, or ask them to stay back an hour, something like that. Something that requires effort on their behalf, extra effort. That's not something that they want to do initially. So when you do this, just run through with them and ask them to do it. And notice how they engage with you and engage with them. And see, can you get them to do what it is you want them to do? Okay, so just do it in a simple, playful way for now, but do it as though it's serious. And once you've done that, and they commit to either yes or no, then ask them for feedback. Ask them, how did you come across? Did they feel pressured? Did they feel pushed? So do you persuade? Do you inspire? Do you rationalize? Do you appeal? Do you ask? Do you collaborate? Do you negotiate? How do you actually try and get someone to do something? It's a good idea to begin to recognize things, because very often what you'll find that no matter how you're trying to do what you're doing, most people, when we use this technique in our seminars, most people recognize that how they actually think they're coming across and how they're actually coming across is two very different things. Very often what they think is an invitation is actually a push. Just find out, how did you come across in that context? Because when you begin to learn that, then you figure out what is your selling style. And really the truth of it is that what we do and what we train people when we're doing the courses, we don't get them to try and to sell to one another. We get them to create the invitation to buy. Always with the premise that we do want to sell and we do want to engage and we do want to connect. We're not pretending we're not doing it, we're doing it. It's not simple sales generation, leads generation. We want to sell, but the way to do it is to make sure that it's of value to the person. And what we'd say is that if you really want to be able to engage your customer in a long-term basis, to build good relationships, then perhaps talk to us. We'd love to show you exactly how to do that in the most ethical way, in the best way possible.